why you're afraid to fall in love, and what's it costing you. All right. I want to welcome everyone to another episode of the Breakthrough Boss Podcast, the Daily Recharge. I'm your host, Jovie J, Sumner, and today's Breakthrough Boss Daily Protocol is, why are you afraid to fall in love, and what's that costing you? Trust me when I say this was definitely not a planned protocol for today, but as you know, this boss takes orders from the boss of all bosses, and so when God told me to do the episode today on why people are afraid to fall in love. And I take orders, and I submit and surrender always to the best of my ability. So let's dive into this. So why are people afraid to fall in love? I will start with myself. I'll go first and just say, I think hurt. We get hurt. And let me go ahead and tackle this immediately. Falling in love does not just mean between man and woman. It could be between man, woman, and creator. It could be between passion and man or passion and woman. It could be between purpose and woman. It could be between purpose and man. The reason why I'm saying that is because falling in love is not just about men and women. We tend to think of it like that, but obviously we know that we can fall in love with our passions. We can fall in love with so many different things, style, clothing, travel, whatever it may be. So falling in love is not just limited to your relationship with another human being. Let's tackle that at first and let's get that out the way. So I'm not just talking about only that, although that is included in today's daily protocol and recharge. The thing about it is we get hurt. And when we get hurt, we tend to want to protect ourselves. And that makes sense. That's a survival instinct. It keeps us safe. It allows us to have time to process what has happened and to heal. And that is a good thing to an extent. It's a good thing to the extent that we don't close ourselves off, which is oftentimes what a lot of us do. I've done that as well. It's a good thing to the extent that we don't go into attack mode or become overly defensive. Because sometimes we can continue to carry those hurts with us, not realizing that when we don't heal from those wounds and we don't heal from those hurts, we continue to take them forward with us in our lives. And this in many ways can prohibit or prevent us from falling in love again and giving ourselves new opportunities for life, for love, and for the different paths and passions that we may have in life. Partly because we get disappointed when things don't go according to plan. And I like the saying that Tony Robbins always says, you have to take your disappointments and use them for determination. Don't let your disappointments defeat you. Use them for determination. And that can sometimes involve a bit of a healing process and a bit of a journey to get back into a space where you're open to new opportunities. You're open to meeting new people. You're open to pursuing new passions. You feel like you're in a space where you're ready to go to new levels. Sometimes that's just part of the path. And personally, I think that's fine. I think that's intelligent. I think that's wise. I think that what's unwise is to go from one situation, relationship, or from one endeavor, taking your current or your present level of hurt and never taking time out, to heal. And that's one of the things that, in my world and in my game, I believe in taking time outs. If you look at any game, whether it's the NBA, football, the NFL, whatever, the game has timeouts. And sometimes we have to take a time out for ourselves to put things back into perspective, to reassess where we are, to reassess where we want to go. And that's a very positive and empowering thing, at least from my perspective. The other thing I think we have to really begin to explore is, who do we become when we close ourselves off from love And I think we become selfish. I think we become self-centered. And I don't say we become self-centered from the standpoint to build upon what I just spoke about on the first topic of taking time to take care of self. Not that type of selfish. What I'm speaking about is when you never reopen your heart to heal, when you never reopen your heart to love, when you never reopen your heart to help or to contribute or to pursue what you love to do and what you're excited about and what energizes you. I think when we get to that place, I think we are being selfish, because now what we're doing is we're keeping all this joy and we're keeping all of these gifts we've been blessed with to ourselves. We're not sharing them with others. We're definitely not allowing ourselves to tap into those gifts, into those possibilities, and into that love. And this becomes a game of withholding. We're withholding from ourselves. We're withholding from others. And ultimately, we're withholding from the universe when we go into that space. And I think that's a big problem. I think it's a very big problem. However, there's always a solution. Always, always, always. If we are willing, we can always find a way. So we have to ask ourselves, well, what can we do then? And here's what we can do. We can begin to open our hearts again. David D'Angelo, who wrote the book, The Way of the Superior Man, which is a phenomenal book that probably just as many women have read as just as many men, even though it's titled The Way of the Superior Man. And it is a book written for men. I know a lot of women who have read that book to understand men more. And I think that's really cool. But he said that in order to be a superior man, you have to live with an open heart no matter what. And I think that applies. You have to be willing to live with the open heart, even when your heart has been hurt, even when you've had some disappointments, because we all do, even when, your dreams or your visions didn't work out the way you thought they would. I think it costs more to never reopen your heart than to close yourself and your heart off. And now you'll never, for certain you'll never have those possibilities now. For certain you'll never fulfill your vision now. For certain you'll never really love again or connect with someone again or serve from your heart and contribute from your heart. Because when your heart is closed, you've cut yourself off and disconnected from those possibilities to do those things and to experience those things and share those things. So I think that we definitely have to open our hearts. So if you've closed your heart off, be willing to open your heart in your right time. In no means am I telling you if you just lost a child or you just experienced a major setback in business or with your finances or with your job but do it now. I'm just saying be willing when that time is right for you to live with the open heart if you've closed your heart off. And if you haven't, continue to live with the open heart no matter what, just like David D'Angelo spoke of in The Way of the Superior Man. I think the hurts are also a part of the process and the journey too, because we learn. And as long as we learn and don't keep repeating the same mistakes, and we learn and we grow and we rise above those challenges, I think it gets better and better. It gets juicier and juicier, and life gets spicier and spicier. I'll say this last. Why must we allow ourselves to fall in love again? Because love is the elixir of healing. Love is what we ultimately all want. Whatever you may want. You may think that you want the nice house just because you just want the nice house. And a part of you may. You may think that you want the billions of dollars just because you just want to prove that you can make billions of dollars, and that may be true. You may think that you want the Lamborghini or the Ferrari just to pull the girl or to pull the guy, whatever it may be, whoever's listening. In reality, we all really want love. And it's amazing how much we're willing to do to get that love. And oftentimes we just disguise it behind different pursuits, different accomplishments, and nothing wrong with that. Those are all beautiful things. However, here's what I've experienced and what I've learned in my life, that we can get all of those things and we can accomplish all of those goals. And yet, if we don't have the fulfillment and the passion and the love and the people who we want to be with to share it with, it becomes quite vain. It's just another notch on your belt. And It's all about the love of sharing it with others. What good is great music if the artist keeps it to themselves? What good is a great movie if the studio never puts it out and shares it with others so we can view it and experience it? And so, in the same way, what I'm saying to you is we have to live with an open heart and be willing to share and contribute and have these experiences that we desire to have and allow ourselves to have these experiences so that we can experience the fullness of life and the love of life and the love in the universe and the love of others and the passion that comes along with the path that we choose in life. Because ultimately, that's really what we all want. We want to have that passion. We want to have that love and that fulfillment, whether it's a relationship, your business, your career, you know, your hobbies, whatever. We want that passion. We want that fulfillment. We want to give that love and we want to receive that love. So I encourage you today to take some time and explore, what can you do to begin to allow yourself to fall in love again? Whether that's your passions, your path, your relationships, your faith, your health. And what's something that you can begin to do today to allow yourself to experience that love and that passion that maybe you've been missing out on if you've closed your heart? That's all I got for you guys today. As always, I'm Jovie J. Sumner. I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Breakthrough Boss Podcast. And I want to remind you, stay focused, stay disciplined, stay dedicated, and stay hungry, because lions are always hungry for more. Sending you love, light, peace, and prosperity. God bless, guys.